Jason Garrett right now would be a big mistake by Big D. Plus, Stephen A. tries to convince me Baltimore is not the best team in football. Good luck. And after a goose egg for Joel Embiid, is it officially panic time in Philly? More First Take now.
It is a significant setback for our team. We needed this win. We needed to win against an opponent like this. We haven't had them, but this is very frustrating. It's frustrating to do it, to just be reminded that some of the fundamentals of football and coaching were what beat us out there today. With the makeup of this team, I shouldn't be this frustrated.
Big Jerry not playing around, everybody. Marcus Spears, I see you. Welcome back to First Take. We're coming to you live from above the Heineken River Deck at Pier 17. That was Jerry Jones from Sunday night venting some of that frustration right after the Cowboys' 13-9 loss to the Patriots. Despite the coaching criticism, sources have told Ed Warder that there will be no immediate changes to the Cowboys coaching staff. Here was head coach Jason Garrett Monday being asked about his boss.
You meet with Jerry all the time. Have you talked with him since last night's game?
I have not. Typically we have a personnel meeting on the Monday after the game, but we haven't traditionally done that when we have the short weeks. We just get our eyes forward. Really it's the same message. It's the same message if you win the game or lose the game. The biggest thing is get your eyes forward. That one's done. The biggest thing for us is to get our eyes forward on this game on Thursday. Certainly with some things in the game that we have to get better at, and we're going to work on that as a staff and as a football team. But again, our eyes are forward on Buffalo.
Oh, I got a former Cowboy. I got a Cowboy fan hater. I got a Patriot hater. There's just a lot happening
That's
here.
true.
I'm just a girl. Stephen, I'm looking at you. Is Jerry making a bigger mistake keeping Garrett or firing him?
Keeping him. He's making a bigger mistake. It's a huge mistake. And listen, I have fun with Dallas Cowboy fans and all of that. I'm dead serious. I'm not playing because you're talking about a man's job and an ability to feed his family. And I'm certainly not trying to get in the way of that. And I don't take that lightly. But this man has to go. And this man should have been gone since 2013. I've been on the record stating that. At some point in time, we have to ask ourselves, and I think that as a society, we get away from something that I'm very, very big on, and that is the process per se. In other words, how you get to the place that you are at. How many coaches in the National Football League would have gone 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, as he did in 2011, 12, and 13? Lose the last game of the regular season each time with a division crown on the line, or you go home because you wasn't going to get the wild card spot. And lose, not to one team, but to all three other teams within your division. They lost to the Redskins, the Giants, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Jason Garrett kept that. Now, this was the golden boy that was getting paid just as much as his head coach at the time, and Wade Phillips, who was getting $3 million a year. Jason Garrett was making $3 million a year as a coordinator. This kind of stuff was unheard of. Clearly, your relationship with Jerry Jones has a lot to do with you keeping this job. Now, his record as of right now is 83-64. That's 56% of the games that he's won. We all know that's not good enough because he came in after 8 or 9 games this first year, and now we're halfway through this season. So he's had 8 complete seasons, 10 overall if you count those 2, but 8 complete seasons. This is his 9th. He has 2 playoff victories, 2 in 9 years. Remember, we are living in an age and in a society where Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record. He's got a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowl berth appearances. By the way, numerous AFC Championship game appearances. And people throughout the football world were talking about how the Steelers needed a change when this man has won nearly 65% of his games in his career and has never had a losing record and has a multitude of player victories. His virus is that it's difficult for him to beat Bill Belichick. Oh, my God, stop the presses. So I take all of those things into consideration, and then I look at this year's roster. Jerry Jones doesn't give you an extension. Jerry Jones sits there and says, I'm taking care of everybody else. I come out the wazoo. I pay all of this money. I got Ezekiel Elliott. I gave $90 million to, with $50 million guaranteed. I'm about to give Dak over $130 million, probably about $35 million in guaranteed dollars minimum. I got Amari Cooper. I got to take care of Michael Gallup can play. I got an offensive line. And oh, by the way, with Rashard and Marinelli, I got a defense. And you have the same record as the Los Angeles Rams or a bunch of these other teams. It is disgraceful There is no excuse for it. And the only reason he has his job is because Jerry Jones loves him. It's Thanksgiving. I understand it. Take care of the man any way you want to. But he needs to be gone today.
No, he needed to be gone at the beginning of the season. That's the issue. Like, I kept talking about it. Like, you don't fire him now because let me tell you something. I don't care who you promote. You're not winning the Super Bowl this year. That ship has sailed. You had a chance with your roster, and what you needed to do was go get a Super Bowl caliber coach. And you're not going to do it now. It's not going to really do anything, especially, by the way, after they went to Foxborough and really probably should have won that game. Like, you're not going to beat Bill Belichick and the refs. 2 minutes to go on your own 35. You make the first down, and there's a phantom tripping call. Like, it starts making me think against the Chiefs last year in the playoffs, had there not been a neutral zone infraction, right, like a pre-snap penalty, maybe the rest would have just come up with them. Well, let's give Brady another shot. Like, you're not going to go to Foxborough and beat Belichick and the refs. And that may have cost them the game. You don't know, but it may have. That's a tough week to fire your coach after, actually, the one-loss Patriots team. The issue for me is Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones designed this whole team to isolate the variables. Is it the coach or the quarterback? Because they have everything else. We all knew what the answer was before the season started. Let's not act like we have new info on Garrett now. He should have done it before the season started. Guys, he should do it before next season starts. But what's the point in doing it right now?
The timing is interesting.
The timing is interesting. And I think, to that point, like, the privilege to have a great relationship and keep a job making $5-6 million a year. Like, Jason Garrett is average. His record says he's average. The performances say he's average. Average gets you a 10-year job for the Dallas Cowboys. And to your point, Max, and I 100% agree with you. Like, what conversation are we truly having, right? And we could talk about Jason Garrett and his performance. This is Jerry Jones' fault. As I sit here and listen to you guys talk, this is Jerry Jones' fault. You can tell me all you want about you want to win a Super Bowl, and I've invested in everything. You don't want to win a Super Bowl if you're going to continue to keep Jason Garrett. You don't want to do it because people that's not even in the middle of that building understand that he is the thing that's holding you back from getting to the point you want to be at. Now, I played for Jason Garrett. I have an affinity for him. Good dude, played the game, came in with all the promise in the world. But you are what you are. The sample size is enough now. So
it was before the season started.
And now that we are having this conversation with a team that's right now sitting at 6-5, with the talent that they have on this roster, this doesn't exist in the NFL. Is my point. Like, to your point, Stephen A., we talking about Mike Tomlin losing his job, and he lost three of the best players ever. And he's 6-5. Like, so at the end of the day, we can be as mad as we want to be at Jason Garrett. But you know what Jason Garrett is being? He's being himself.
Well, let me explain. but let me explain. Y'all are absolutely right if we're talking about macro, the overall view. We're talking about this season. We know Jerry Jones is at fault because we know he has the power to pull the trigger. We get that. Nobody's debating that. But this notion that it is what it is and it could not change, I beg to differ. Because let me tell you something right now. If Rashad was inserted in as the head coach and you got rid of this man right now, I think there's an elevated level of urgency.
Little bounce.
Because based off of what we've seen from Jerry Jones, when it comes to Jason Garrett, you trying to tell me if you were a member of the Dallas Cowboys wearing that uniform, knowing Jerry the way that you do, and then Thanksgiving week arrived and he didn't give a damn and he said, the hell with it. Your behind is out of here. You wearing that Cowboys uniform would have go like, what the hell just happened? I can't believe this just transpired. Wait a minute.
Would they get a bounce?
It's a new day.
That's a pretty good point.
It's a new day.
Do you think we saw it with the Browns last year, but they weren't playing for anything? Do you think elevating the D coordinator, whomever, gives the team a bounce, which sometimes happens with a new coach, enough to get them to do something?
Probably would. We're looking at LSU right now, about to go to the college football playoff with a change in the middle of the season, and we saw players respond. I'm not sure. You remember a few weeks ago we had the conversation when the guys didn't want to give Jason Dapp coming off the field? Right. Like, that's not an indictment on Jason. The relationship was fine. But it gets to a point where you as a player, when you're in a franchise, you saying to yourself, we good enough to
And
win.
then not just
Why
that.
aren't
Last
we
point.
winning?
Last point. And remember this, Max and Marcus and Molly. This is the key. We've conceded they have the talent. We've conceded that systemically, what this system is, whether it's running the ball or Dak Prescott listening to Kellerman or getting the ball or Amari Cooper or et cetera, we've conceded they've got what it takes. The issue in question is a personality transplant. You can't have that with Jason Garrett.
Well, you know what, Stephen A?
You got to change
This
it.
speaks to something you talk about. I want Jerry to take his medicine now. He sacrificed this season on the altar of his own ego. Don't try to act like you're doing something now. Take your medicine. You wasted this season. Get a new coach next year.
I'm not trying to kill Jason Garrett for being in a position he shouldn't be in because he doesn't make that decision. And that's my point.
I'm not killing him. I'm saying he needs to go.
I know your point.
He needs to go.
There'll be plenty of Cowboys talk coming up because don't forget, they're playing in 2 days. The Bills come to town. Bills are pretty good. 8-3.
Garrett has to play on a short week.
Still to come,
Defensively, they're
after
pretty
last
good.
night's awful performance by Joel Embiid, is Stephen A. concerned about his pick